Playwright Tracy has given the actor playing the patriarch of the massively malfunctioning Weston family almost as great a challenge with the opening speech of his play Osage County as Shakespeare has given the actor playing Aegeus in the Comedy of Errors. Beverly Weston is not exactly pleading for his life, but he is mulling over death and poetry and, like Aegeus, explaining some things about his troubled family's history. It's a long speech, and it's the first time that playwright Letts challenges our willingness to suspend our disbelief and stay with his play. Larry Dell delivers the speech in the current production at the St. Louis Actors Studio, and I always find Dell interesting, so I stayed with him. His sole auditor, though, appears a little uneasy because Jana Monavata, a local Cheyenne Nation woman, is waiting to hear if he is going to hire her to care for his wife Violet, who suffers from mouth cancer and from addictions to alcohol and pills. Jana is hired, and Wendy Renee Farmer endows her with ample patience to deal with not just her patient, but with the whole Weston clan. They all assemble when Beverly disappears. That's when Letts really challenges your suspension of disbelief. They're quite a bunch. Oldest daughter Barbara is a college professor in Colorado. Her husband Bill's also a professor. He's having an affair with a student, of course. Their 14-year-old daughter Jean overflows with adolescent attitude. Middle daughter Ivy, the quiet one, still lives near enough to continue to be subjected to her mother's constant criticism of her appearance, her clothes, her way of life. She's formed a bond with her quiet cousin Charles, who also suffers from a mother's constant reminders that he's not living up to expectations. His mother is Violet's older sister, Mattie Fay, whose tongue can be almost as sharp as her sister's, and whose husband Charlie, solid and stolid, contributes not comic relief, but the relief of the commonplace. Youngest daughter Karen, still the baby of the family, has escaped to Florida, where she sells real estate and has picked up a fiancé, Steve, a too-smooth operator who has shed 3 previous marriages. And yes, playwright Letts throws this in too. Steve has a growing interest in the 14-year-old. Add tales of frontier violence and parental viciousness from an earlier generation, and then a final revelation that should have you crying, "Whoa, wait a minute, too much, don't go there, I don't believe it." But I didn't scream that. I couldn't take my eyes off the car wreck, and I wanted it to go on. Letts made me believe. I was fascinated and, yes, entertained by what he had created. He, director Wayne Salomon, and the actors, Carrie Ely's matriarch Violet, a mess, but still able to aim her poisoned darts precisely, Meghan Baker's Barbara, gathering strength from each reversal, David Wassilak's Bill, quietly and nobly enduring his estranged wife's family, and Bridget Bassa as their daughter Jean, questing with hope and fury and confusion, Emily Baker's Ivy, suffering in silence, her feelings visible, Rachel Fenton's Karen, making herself believe she's happy, despite what she knows about Drew Battle's smoothly sleazy fiancé, Kim Furlow as Violet's slightly less outrageous sister Mattie Fay, William Roth thoroughly convincing as their thoroughly decent husband, and Stephen Pyrick as their thoroughly demoralized son, and G.P. Hunsaker as the thoughtful local sheriff. A high school flame of Barbara's, and now, believe it or not, conveniently single. Set designer Patrick Huber hasn't quite worked a miracle and put a sprawling Oklahoma farmhouse on the tiny gaslight stage, but he's given it 2 stories, an entry hall that doubles as Beverly's study, and room to gather everyone around a dinner table. Carl Landis Evans' costumes and props all look right. Dalton Robinson designed the lights. Osage County takes 3 hours. It holds you all the way. Great theater.
It certainly held me all the way. It was terrific.
Yeah, something to see.